Alright, good day. Today I'm going to be attempting to beat Persona 5 Royal on the hard difficulty without dying a single time. This video will contain the first palace so that you guys can get a kind of idea into the video series I'm going to be doing. No, the video series will not be one video per palace. This is just the first. Alright, let's get into the rules. If I die, I reset from the beginning of Palace 1. No exploits, i.e. the Reaper exploit or any money exploits. No DLC content unless you guys are okay with me changing costumes so I can just change around the music. If not, then no problem. No buying personas of a higher level until the second half of the game. For people who already played the game, they know what that means. But for those who don't know, I'll explain later on in the series. I'm using a different account from my usual so that none of my save from my previous playthroughs will interrupt me in any way. Alright, let's start the game. So we start with the opening casino scene, and we make our way through the casino. We get interrupted by a cutscene where we have to fight the Minotaur. He's the very first encounter of the game, and it was an easy win. We continue on our way until we are interrupted by another cutscene where we are introduced to a new character named something. We battle with her and easily win as she helps us escape. Finally, we make our way out, but we are caught by the police. We are then asked to choose our difficulty settings. I chose hard, not because merciless is difficult, or too difficult per se, but because I looked at the stats, and in some ways, for me too many ways, merciless is easier than hard. Let me explain. Merciless has this thing where super effective moves and technical damage do 3 times more damage. So that is usually basically a one shot. So usually I'm gonna get to attack first, so then this becomes kind of a problem. Also, as much as I do deal less damage, I also gain more money and XP on Merciless. So that I chose hard. If this was vanilla Persona 5, I would have definitely chosen Merciless because it's much harder. But if you guys think I should go on Merciless, then please leave a comment down below and I'll change it. Alright, so now we're asked to name the character. I named my character Akira Kurusu. Akira Kurusu? I don't know. How do you even say this? Japanese names are always killing me. But yeah, I named him Akira Kurusu because that's the name in the manga and I like it more than Ren. We then meet Sai Nijima and hear voices in our heads. It cuts to us on the train as we make our way to La Blanc. After aimlessly wandering around, we find it and meet Sojiro, who shows us our dusty ass room. Dang, he already showed me a dusty ass room. We clean it up a bit and then go to sleep, where we dream about why we are supposed to be here in the first place, because we tried to stop a rapist. Anywho, we meet up with the twins and Ego in the Velvet Room during our dream state. The next day comes, and we go with Sojiro to meet the principal and our home teacher. So we go home, rest up, and get ready to go to school the next day. Alright, so it's the next day. We go to school, not before Sojiro fears some curry. So we head to the train station where we encounter the first boss of the game, finding the Genzina line. But since I played this game already, I know where to go. We make our way out of the train station somehow, and we meet An, Kamoshira, and Ryuji. We go with Ryuji to the school, and the school turns into a castle. And then we get arrested and put in cells. Ryuji gets his ass handed to him, and we decide to stand up for him and unlock our very first persona, Arsene, by ripping off our inner mask. Literally. We get through a fight with some scrubs and lock Kamoshida in a cell. We try to escape and meet a monster camp named Morgana, who helps us get across the bridge that was blocking our path. Turns out, he has a persona too. His persona's name is Zoro. He teaches us more tutorial stuff, and we move. We managed to escape, but we're late for school, cause time doesn't pause during that world. We go see Kawakabe. No? Too much? Okay. We go see Kawakami and she isn't pleased with us. Obviously. But hey, she asks us to introduce ourselves to the rest of the class, so we do just that and then sit behind Ann. Ryuji pulls up and says he wants to meet up with us, So we do just that. We meet with him and he wants to discuss the shit that happened at the palace and he wants to go back.
Gotta get back. Back to the past.
To free the students in the cells. We agree with him, apprehensively of course, and we will meet up with him tomorrow. But first we have to go home and get scolded by Soljiro. Kinda like getting scolded by my parents, but with way less as well. We go to sleep and meet up with Ego in our dream. Again, for stuff. We go to school and get there on time and have to answer some impossible trivia questions. Who the fuck knows this stuff? Like, who actually fucking knows this stuff? Anyway, we meet up with Sakamoto to retrace our steps so we can get
back to the past
and finally do it by using the Manga Kyo Sharingan on our phone. We meet up with Morgana, strike a deal, and we move. Morgana teaches us more tutorial garbage like ambushes, safe rooms, the Glocks, and the stylish all-out attacks. We find the niggas in the cells only to find out none of them are real, and this is just how Kamoshida sees the students. We get their names anyways and try to leave, not before getting caught and our asses handed to us. And the run is dead. Jokes, this don't count, this was supposed to happen. Ryuji saves us by unlocking his persona, Gold D. Roger Captain Kid, but he dies. Oh god. Luckily me and Morgana clutch up and we move. Once we dip, we form our first bond with Ryuji, and he becomes our first Arcana/confidant. And later on that night in our dream state, Igor becomes our second Arcana/confidant. The next day comes and we try to convince Kamoshida's abuse victims to talk, but we flop. We then meet Morgana in reality, and he's just some cat. He tells us a way to stop Kamoshida by taking away all his desires, but it'll leave him brain dead. And we aren't so sure about doing such things. On our way home, we see Anne crying on the streets and we chase her like she's a criminal and force us to talk. We find out that Kamoshida has been threatening her to sleep with her or her friend will be dropped from the volleyball team. And the next day, her friend tries to kill herself. So we change our minds about making this nigga brain dead, and we agree we should probably make this nigga brain dead. Anne wants to join us, but we refuse. And she tags along anyways and meets Morgana, where he takes a big simp of simp soda and drools all over her, but we kick her out anyways. We get our nicknames, Skull, Mona, and Joker respectively, and we move. We meet a Pixie, and we find out we can recruit her to our team. So we do just that, and then we use her in the next battle, and we move. We then proceed to recruit a Bicorn.
Meanwhile,
Anne comes back into the metaverse and gets captured, so we have to go and save her. Only to find out she is a purse owner user too. We fight a boss and almost get our asses handed to us, but Anne becomes a new confidant/Arcana and joins the fight. We go home and see a sexy goth doctor drinking coffee. We go upstairs because Soljiro told us so and he doesn't want us to interrupt his time with the customers. When we go upstairs,
I am thou, thou art I.
We need medication to fight because this is a JRPG of course, so we go meet up with the sexy goth doctor. We also need some nines, so we meet Ryuji and meet a gun seller or a gunsmith, whatever the fuck. You know what? I don't know what they're called. He was pretty apprehensive about it, but we convinced him and he sells us some stuff. And by stuff I mean the Glock or the 9, the Draco, whatever you guys want to call it. And later on that same evening, Mona teaches us about lockpicks and crafting shit. Next day we go back to see Tai for some special medication. She refuses and we activate Charm to take her performance enhancing drugs. And we immediately pass out. Nice.
I am thou, thou art I.
We proceed to go home and study, and then rest. The next day we answer some questions in class, and after that we chill with Best Boy Ryuji, and then at night we study. Next day, we start the infiltration. Before we start, we have to get on her nickname. For me personally, I would have gone with Sexy Cat, but we went with Panther. whatever. 2 steps later, we are stopped by the twins and Igor to enter the Velvet Room. You know, the place that we go in our dream state. That's what it's called, the Velvet Room. Anywho, he teaches us about fusion, basically taking 2 or more personas, beheading them, and mashing them together to create one better persona, but that persona cannot be of a higher level than us. So we decide to fuse Pixie and Arsene to form Agathion, because that's usually the first one everyone makes. Ego also gives us our third eye, so we can see better. I also take my time to lock away all DLC personas and buy back Arsene from the compendium. I lock away the DLC personas because of the rules from earlier that I can't use DLC. So we are making our way through the palace, trying by level best to conserve as much SP as possible because I want to do this all in one run. So during this time we learn about baton passes. So we continue on our way to the palace, catching a pixie and a jack-o'-lantern for fusion fodder. We managed to find a handy dandy map on our way through the palace. Immediately after finding a safe room, there's a persona I want to catch. Tastes it. He hits really good with physical and has fire magic, so I could really use that on my team. So we do manage to find him. We continue through the palace, going through some easy puzzles and all that easy enemies and all that trash, until we meet a troublesome housemate who kills Morgana. But you guessed it. On our way forward, we get stuck. We can't go anywhere but up. So Morgana teaches us about the new feature in Persona 5 Royal, grappling hooks. We managed to find a safe room and go back to the Velvet Room and fuse some stuff. We fuse a Silky for her ice magic and an Incubus to get rid of Pixie and have lightning magic. And yes, I know, he looks weird. We leave the place and continue on our journey. So there's this swole shadow in our path. And the best thing would be to avoid it. But this is a challenge video. And why would I want to do that? I want to make this video as interesting as possible. And luckily, I know it's a Barrett and he's weak to ice magic. So we fight him. We love his attack power because he can one-shot us. Ryuji gets a lucky shot on him because he built different. So Barrett won't be able to move for 1 or 2 turns. So we just dog on him during this time. He recovers and claps Ryuji's cheeks. But we finish him and we move. We then have to find some books to unlock our path. And we do so. Pretty easy puzzle, don't you think? We find out that Kamoshida has been fapping to Answer and Shiho. And, that really hits her different. We find the map and move. Oops. Not before getting interrupted and learning about Disaster Shadows. Basically, Disaster Shadows hit you twice if you don't hit that weakness. They drop really good loot when you do kill them. And when you do kill them, they explode and do damage to others. So that's I don't know why they added this. It kind of felt useless. We find a safe room and save up. Oh, there's a lot, bro. We make our way through the hall and we have to find a semi-boss who has charge. And charge does 2.5 times damage the next turn it hits. That move can be pretty devastating. So the game teaches us about this new feature. I believe it's called blocking? I'm not sure if you get the part of it. After blocking anyway, Ryuji takes a huge hit, but he's still up, so we'll be fine. We immediately lower his attacking power, so we don't get killed ourselves, and Mona Sim heals up Ryuji. We use Ryuji and Ann to find out that he resists both fire and lightning. So we try using dark magic, and then Morgana heals up Ryuji again. And then he goes for a physical attack while Ann uses fire again, because she really doesn't have much to do. He charges again, we block, he goes for Ryuji, and we heal him again. This goes on for a while of just healing and blocking and attacking, and it's just monotonous and repetitive, so... And we move. We move on through the palace and find a will seed. We make it to the top of this palace, but it's heavily guarded by bears, so we use the grappling hook to escape. On our way, we manage to find his second will seed and find another safe room. We go back to the Velvet Room to fuse a succubus. We find a secret passageway to the third will seed and we have to fight a demi-boss. Earlier on, we found a breeze ring and we keep it on to Ann for this fight. The boss was a sludge ooze thing that looked like a penis. Yeah. This fight is pretty easy. This fight is pretty easy too, because he mostly focuses on Ann and keeps missing because Anne has very good dodging skills. So find the third will seed and we equip it onto Anne and remove. By the way, the will seed was a Diara Huntsman, basically medium healing magic. We're moving along just fine, nothing crazy going along, until we hit a Barrett that KOs Ryuji. Man, Ryuji hasn't been really getting a great time in this run so far. But hey, we kick the Barrett's ass, we pick up Ryuji, and we move. We have to do a puzzle about finding 2 keys on enemies. Such a boring puzzle. But we're starting to run low on SP, and we're gonna need SP adhesive soon. We have to fight a horseman who has a key, but he KOs on. But it was no major threat other than that, and we move. We go back to the Velvet Room so I can fuse myself a Barrett and retrieve a Galtheon. We then easily get the second key and finish the puzzle. We find the last safe room, which is right next to the throne, which holds his desires. But we can't steal it yet because we have to make it physically manifest. How do we do that? By sending him a calling card, of course, or Phantom Thieves. So we decide to leave and get ready to prepare for the fight. We go home and I study that evening. The next day, I use Pixie and fuse it with an Agathion for Mokoi, because Mokoi has really good physical damage. I also fuse myself a Magic. I tried to talk to Tai, but I don't have the balls stat to go and talk to her yet. So then I just decide to send out the calling card. This boss fight is super fun, so I'll try to give you a play-by-play as best as I can. We tried to take his distorted desires, but he transformed into a weird lust demon. Alright, boss fight time. He goes first and hits Ryuji pretty hard. But we fight back, but first we reduce his attacking power. He hits Mona and Anne, but not so much. Joker lowers his defense as well, and we can finally hit even harder. We do more damage, but he hits Ryuji for big damage, but he's still fine. We attack and Anne heals up Ryuji. He then uses a cup of legs to heal himself, so we decide as a team to go and destroy it, because we don't want him healing all day. We hit it and he gets super mad about it. We hit it and he gets mad, and then he attacks Joker and he hits 3 times, which takes a huge chunk of our damage. But Anne still has the diorama charm on her, so we use that to heal Joker and we move. We destroy his cup and go for an AoA and do basically nothing. He calls for Mishima so he can do a big ball attack, so we guard. But Anne didn't heal up, so she gets KO'd. That's not good. He brings out Shiho, so we attack her immediately, and turns out she's pretty weak, and she easily goes down. We can't win without stealing his crown, so we send Ryuji to go get it. Revive Anne, and then Morgana uses a physical ointment which repels all physical attacks. We continue the flight and slowly chip away at him so that Ryuji can get the crown, and along the way Morgana dies. Yeah. We use our last survival bead on him. That is not good. I came super unprepared. We keep chipping away at him until Ryuji finally gets to the second stage of the crown, of getting the crown stuff. But we are running low on SP. Oof. Again, I really came unprepared for this. Kamoshida brings Morgana to a dangerous amount of health, but Ryuji gets to the final stage of getting to knock off the crown. I make the conscious decision to use up all of Anne's SP and heal up Joker. Probably not my best move. And he knocks out Morgana. So now I basically can't heal again. So the run dies or lives right here. We attack Kamoshida using Mokoi and Anne's whip. Kamo hits Joker for huge damage and gets us to half health. We continue our assault, but he gets Joker to 2 HP and I can't heal anymore. The run could be done right here, right now. Oh god, I don't want to reset. But Anne attacks with her whip and Ryuji finally hits his crown off, and now without his crown we hit for huge amounts of damage. He goes for Ryuji but misses. We hit him with a big bufu. Anne unloads her Draker into his chest and Ryuji hits a big lunge, giving us the dub. That was stressful. And that was Palace 1 done. Tell me what you guys think in the comments of this first part. Tell me what I can improve on, and let me know if you want to see the rest of this run. I definitely will be posting the rest of this run, but just comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. If you guys have any rule changes you want me to do, list them down, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Also stay sub so that you get notifications for the next episode, please. All right, thank you. Bye.